I know this may be a sensitive subject, but how easy is it for you guys to separate the art from the artist in Tokusatsu? For example, Gills from Agito, or more recently, Vice's actor from Revice.
I don't care about an actor or a writer or an artist or whoever's personal beliefs or opinions or taste or whatever the fuck, as long as they're not doing something abhorrent and illegal like kiddie porn or murder or anything like that. Well, okay, maybe murder, depending on depending on who it is. Like, if fucking Araki killed somebody, I'd let him pass, because it's Hirohiko Araki. I'd be more surprised if he hasn't killed somebody. But if, like with very minor exceptions, generally speaking, if somebody's done something, I don't fucking care, because it doesn't affect the show, it doesn't affect their work. I can separate it. I have that mental disconnect of, I don't care who this person is. As long as they aren't putting that into the project itself, doesn't matter to me.
So I'm on the same level as Jay, because, like, okay, let's take, for example, and this is going to be the big one, Gills. The guy beat his wife so hard she had a miscarriage. That is abhorrent. You can't forgive that.
No, you can't.
But it's not something that I can't separate from the show, because Agito is still fantastic. It's still a fantastic show. If you want another example outside of Toku, and I hate to bring him up because it's just that bad, but let's take Chris Benoit. There are people out there who can still watch his matches readily, because whether we like it or not, he was a fantastic wrestler. But they won't pretend that he didn't do anything wrong. He killed his fucking wife and kid. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where no matter what you say, she, whoever still did it. But that's still not going to detract from the art itself. Because if I were to, and I hate to use this because it's a fallacy, if I were to go after every single actor who ever did anything wrong, no matter the severity, I would never be able to enjoy media in general. You know what I mean? So with something like Gills or something like Vice, yes, well, especially with Vice, yes, it was fucked up, but it's not going to affect the show unless fucking Kimura comes in with blackface in the fucking show, which they would never fucking do. So
yeah, I mean, maybe if the show came out like 10, 15 years ago, they probably would. But
I don't even think then, honestly, because I think Toei has kind of been okay with that in the kid show department.
Well,
but you know what I mean? Like, I think it's a thing of, I recognized the awful severity of what they did, but I also recognize that the show was not made by them, and that's not them in the show. That's a character.
Yeah. Like, I think for me, largely in part, it depends, first off, how long ago was the event, and second, how much of this is it literally just like, say for example, the American fandom, or like, it is literally the American fandom, what am I saying? Like, making a mountain out of an anthill. Like, say for example,
yeah.
And also, like, again, timing. The thing with, like, Gills, it didn't happen until much later, until, like, I want to say 2009 or 2010, or much later, until after, obviously, Agito ended. So in that case, it's like, that wouldn't take away from my enjoyment of Agito, mainly because, yes, it did happen much later after the show, but really, it's just like, this was the product of a time back then, and this is the character that actor was playing back then. Mm-hmm. Or like, say for example, like Subaru Kimura and doing blackface and making racist remarks. Okay, first off, that was, I want to say early or mid 2010s era. And we're barely bringing this up now. So like literally, I feel like enough time has passed on that. And like, if Japanese tabloids or news aren't making a big deal out of it, then why are we? Again, it's
not only that, but he has apologized.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like 90%, like the dude has apologized and did realize it. It's like, oh yeah, no, that was kind of fucked up. But even so, just like also it's a cultural difference in this case as well. Like people can say what they want and recognize that it is bad, it was stupid, whilst at the same time Japan is more or less a country that, in terms of their humor, they are more lax. Obviously, as you could see, say for example, Gintama, you don't see people getting bent over the fact that they've broken a whole bunch of like copyright laws, right? Or basically doing a bunch of parodies and whatnot, right? Like,
Yeah.
and likewise, just like obviously, like if you go watch other Japanese comedians like on a normal basis, you'll either find like a lot of puns, kind of like Aruto from 01. You'll find other things like situational humor, and others that are definitely based off of stereotypes in other countries.
It's a lot of blue humor.
Yeah. Like basically, like in this case, again, I feel like we as a culture in America are more or less very sensitive about it. It's not a problem, however, it is more of a problem when we are trying to force this on another country. It's like forcing ketchup onto someone's burger who doesn't want ketchup.
Exactly.
It's probably good. It is probably delicious with ketchup, but
they didn't ask for it.
Yeah, they never asked for it, and they just don't want ketchup on their burger. So why are we trying to force ketchup or anything else on their burger? Little known fact, Kamen Rider Ibuki apparently reviews Japanese AV. Again, is that going to take away from me, like, enjoying Hibiki just because it's weird? Not really, but when you think about it, it's just like, yeah, that is kind of weird. And,
I mean, it's a little odd, but I mean, it's not like he's reviewing child porn. If he was doing that, that'd be disgusting. But if he's
No, but like
It's
you know what he
just-
I know
says.
what
He's
he's
saying
saying,
it's a thing of the actor is the actor, the character is the character.
Yeah.
the actor's the actor, the character
I'm
the
not
character,
going to
and the work
like-
is the work.
so, but for some reason people don't understand how that works, and they think that since I'm watching Vice, I'm automatically supporting racism. I don't fucking know. You're all dumb as fuck.
with me, I'm able to separate the art from the artist, like with, you know, like what Chad said with Gills as actor. Like I don't like what he did was abhorrent, but it doesn't keep me from enjoying Agito. This is going outside of Toku, but a couple of years ago, this was a problem when it came to, well, J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter. That was a whole big, like, rigmarole, and I'll be honest, the first time when this happened, I actually was conflicted at first, because I was like, you know, I'm still reading the books. I was burnt out, so I haven't read them in a while. I'm on book 5, and it's like, well, I can either enjoy them and separate myself from the artist, but then there are going to be people that say that I'm a monster because I'm supporting somebody who has said transphobic things. And I was debating it multiple times until finally I said, I don't really give a fuck. Her beliefs are her beliefs. I may not agree with them. The world may not agree with them. I might agree with her on something, but and the world may not, and then they may agree. I mean, look, what she said is not. Oh, it's not fine. It's more of, you know, like I'm of the belief of, you know what, if you identify as this or identify as that, you should be allowed to live the life that you want to live. Nobody should keep you from doing that. That's my personal belief, but that I'm not gonna let her belief system or a bunch of people telling me, oh, I'm not gonna read this anymore, keep me from reading that. It's too ingrained from my childhood. It's too ingrained in me to actually say, like, I can't, like to say, like, look, I can't just fully abandon this. This is not, like, I still enjoy it. I still somewhat enjoy it. So I'm able to separate it nowadays. I'm able to separate that work from the artist's point of view.
Indeed.